Beboppers, and welcome in to the Dynasty Bebop mock draft show. This week we're bringing you a mock draft based on a 3-round mock draft by Chris Trapasso over on CBS. Yeah. So let's talk about it. Let's see what we got here.
Yeah, buddy, let's talk about it. So, I'll pull up this short little 3-round rookie mock draft that we got here, found on CBS. I was kind of just browsing through some mock drafts earlier in the week and came across this mock draft and thought, yikes, dude, this could be reality here. And I think we all, as fantasy players, definitely as dynasty players, we are the most rainbows and butterflies players out of any other sport. Everybody's going to be the next stud. Everyone's going to score 20 points a game next year. Everyone's getting the dream landing spot, but
everybody's going to the Chargers.
Exactly, but we got to be a little realistic here, and I thought this was a really good draft that kind of brought me down to reality. So let's start off here with the top.
All right.
Start of the draft. Scroll down here. Big one. 101.
Kind of a surprise here because, we've heard that Carolina wants an accurate guy, and Anthony Richardson is not that right now.
Yeah, definitely a little shocked. I'd be really shocked if this happens for the fact that Carolina has given up their first-round pick next year to take a swing like this that could very well land Chicago with the 101 next year is a lot of dice. So we'll see what happens. We got here the 102. We got the Houston Texans taking Bryce Young.
Probably one of the more consistent picks we've seen across all mock drafts.
Yeah. I do like this down here with the Indianapolis Colts taking CJ Stroud. Fits that offense, I think, pretty well.
Yeah, that's the ideal landing place for him in my book.
Yeah.
Just ready
here
to
go. First receiver 1 off the board. We have Jackson Smith and Jigma to the Chicago Bears.
No.
The lack of pass volume makes that a little scary. All right, next we got Jordan Addison to the Houston Texans to pair up with new quarterback Bryce Young.
Good compliment to Nico Collins and stuff. I think it could work out.
Yeah, fill the void for where Brandon Cooks is left. So we do have a trade up here from the New England Patriots. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers move up to pick 14 for Will Levis out of Kentucky. Definitely, I could see the Buccaneers possibly taking a swing at a move up here, and seeing what they got. Maybe a guy with Will Levis. You also see them holding tight for next year.
Yeah, I don't know if something like that happens. I think Baker's gone out of there because he's not a mentor, bring along a young guy type quarterback.
Yeah, and they're not paying him enough money of much consequence. We got the Green Bay Packers here going with Quentin Johnston. Pair with
Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs, Jordan Love.
See what happens with Jordan Love here. Or if Rodgers even decides to leave, I guess, at this point.
Ooh, this is high for a tight end. All right.
Yeah, tight end 1 off the board. Dalton Kincaid to the Detroit Lions. I think anyone that goes to the Lions is automatically getting a bump up the board.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Look at this. Talk about Chargers being the dream landing spot for all your players. I know we said doomsday, but I had to give you a little something. And Bijan Robinson to the Chargers with the dump-off machine Justin Herbert is just, man. To replace Austin Eckler. Got Baltimore Ravens taking Jalen Hyatt, receiver 4 off the board here.
Yeah. I can very well see that happening in real life, is him going really high in the draft because he's going to be probably more valuable to the NFL than he is in fantasy.
Yeah, I think they're looking for maybe moving off from the Devin Duvernay that hasn't quite panned out. All right, keep moving down here. Zay Flowers, New Orleans Saints.
All right.
Honestly, I think that he complements that offense. He does bury Rashid Shaheed, which he could be buried uh, pretty easily. So, all right. I got one of my movers up the board here. I got Josh Downs going to the Pittsburgh Steelers, looking for that new slot receiver.
Yeah. Seems to be a great landing spot for receivers. So
Yeah, honestly, the Steelers pick anyone, I just trust them at this point. I'm just going to take them. All right, we got Rashid. Sorry, I skipped over one.
Michael
Pretty big
Mayer.
one here. No, I got Jahmyr Gibbs to the Indianapolis Colts. Talk about another one where it's just kind of ouch for everybody.
Yeah, I don't want to see him become like a slightly better Naheem Hines. Like I want to see him get more of a feature role than that.
The only positive you could say is that maybe Indianapolis is going into more of a rebuild, not looking to pay Jonathan Taylor next year, who was a second-round pick in 2020. So he'll be coming up on a contract, and he's probably going to want to get paid at pretty top of the market, I would imagine, for his age and productivity so far. So there could be a path, but that's not something that I think fantasy gamers are excited about.
It's not the good bet like smash Jahmyr Gibbs at the 106 that we thought it was.
Yeah.
In this spot.
Yeah.
We got Mayer to the
Michael Mayer to the Raiders. Yeah. We got Rashid Rice to the Tennessee Titans.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Especially at 41. Like I haven't seen him really going this high.
Yeah. I know I've got another high one coming up here. To the Detroit Lions. Bryce Ford Wheaton, the giant speedster out of West Virginia, from a trade from Minnesota. So definitely an interesting, definitely looking probably for that replacement for like a DJ Chark kind of player. Maybe someone to develop into the two.
Well,
they have Debo stretching and AR and Amon-Ra just kind of doing the dirty work in the middle of the field.
Yeah, when you see a team move in this range to go get a guy, they've got a little bit more confidence in him than if they just sat and waited for him to fall to them. So sure. I like to see that. We got Devon A. Chain go to the New York Giants, sitting behind old Barkley,
He ain't so old yet.
All right, some Darnell Washington to the Buffalo Bills. Everybody is going to love that one.
Oh, yeah, the big guy to the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, I don't think Dawson Knox is evidently a long-term, and honestly, they probably could complement each other pretty well. I'm not sure exactly how I feel about that, but people are going to get a lot of ears perked with the Buffalo landing spot.
Yeah.
We got another tight end going to the Philadelphia Eagles behind Dallas Goedert, Luke Musgrave out of Oregon State.
Yeah, if that happens, I'm thinking his value is pretty much dead, sitting behind Goddard, and then...
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's that Philadelphia tight end pipeline. You got to get in it, All right, who we got next here? Marvin Mims. I know one of Bebop favorite here to the Chargers with a mock draft trade with the Raiders. That definitely makes my ears perk. I know... Joshua Palmer is a guy that people are kind of interested in, but I could definitely see him playing that Palmer role. And also, having a role later on with obviously an aging Keenan Allen and also inconsistently healthy Mike Williams. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. All right, Hendon Hooker to the Tennessee Titans here, number 72. I know we've been high on Hooker. I'm not going to be as high as we've been if he's here at 72. I'd like to see him go more like, 40s, maybe like 50, early 50s at the latest if we're going to be putting a late first, like early to mid second value on it.
Yeah, I know we've been kind of putting some of that late first round rookie grades on him recently. And that's really with the hope that he starts creeping into that early second, late, maybe even a late first, with the team wanting to lock him down for the fifth-year option.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a little wide receiver chunk here.
Trey Palmer to the New England Patriots.
Yep. Yep.
So we know they're the New England history of drafting wide receivers.
Right.
We got Xavier Hutchinson to the Rams.
Yep. Another spot that has some questionable quarterback moving forward. We have A.T. Perry to the Indianapolis Colts. Pair there with another young wide receiver from last year.
Oh man. Okay, so 81, Zach Charbonnet to the Lions, which is funny because we've been comping him to David Montgomery, and now they're on the same team.
Yep. Yeah, that's an interesting landing spot once again for him as well. And right behind him, Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Tajay Spears. Don't love that for Tajay or for Rashad White.
Yeah. It's kind of weird to see two teams just kind of doubling up on running backs that they already have in the draft. You know,
this has been a big faller. I've noticed a lot in rookie mocks is Nathaniel Tank Dell out of Houston going to the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, the hype was so high on him coming out of the Senior Bowl that people were starting to push him into the mid-second round there, I felt like. And I'm seeing him now falling into the late third, fourth rounds of rookie drafts. So I'd be curious to see if that bolsters his value up a little bit. Sam Laporta, I like that spot to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Tucker Kraft to the Dallas Cowboys, another solid landing spot. Dak loves a good tight end. They got the Bengals, man, nice tight end around here. Zach Kuntz out of Old Dominion.
Yeah, we skipped over Jaden Reed going to the Bills.
Yeah, that'd
be a sexy one.
Yeah, Jaden Reed is another one that I was liking early on. And I just here recently just starting to see his names pop up more and more. So definitely curious. I like this third round draft capital for him. I've seen him going higher. Carolina Panthers taking Chase Brown out of Illinois.
That's interesting.
Your boy Parker Washington to the Arizona Cardinals. Finally, a wide receiver that's over 5'5". So that'll be cool.
Somebody over 200 pounds too.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. Clayton Tune, quarterback out of Houston to the Las Vegas Raiders.
Who's this Looney Tune?
Yeah, this Clayton Tune. All right, so that wraps up the third round. The 3-round CBS rookie mock draft. So let's you want to mock about it?
Yeah, let's mock about it. Who's you won the first pick? Did I pick Bryce Young last time or Bijan last time? I think I got him at the 101.
I think I did offer you up the first round pick from last year. Give me one moment here. I gotta pull this data up real quick. Transition.
Yeah, no, I think if I got the 101 last time, I want you to have it this time.
You're too kind. You're just one of those quarterback needy teams, anyways. You just didn't want to have to worry about risking it. All right, so we got. You can see here around us, we do have the landing spots. You can see like in the pink kind of tone here is our first round picks. The next tone down there, you see our second rounds, and the yellow down at the bottom is our third round picks. So just kind of give you an idea of where these landing spots are. How many first round picks that we're looking at. 11 first round skill position players at this point.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Let's go ahead and I'm not going to delay here. I think even though Anthony Richardson did get obviously the huge draft capital, they traded up to get him. I think, with this mock draft, I don't have any team, so there's no need to worry about do I have enough quarterbacks. I'm taking the best player available that went to the best spot. I'm going Bijan. I think that was a dream landing spot paired with a young quarterback. Looking for a player like that. You can play him in the slot. You can play him out back. He's going to be a best friend for Justin Herbert for 5+ years. I'm okay investing in that kind of running back at this point in the draft.
Yeah, I think that's a great pick. So, all right, at the 102, I'm going to dip down a little bit to the 104 here and take CJ Stroud going to Indy. I
Yeah.
think that, he's going to be the safest quarterback out of all these. Like, you know what you're getting, and it's going to be probably pretty good. I think that he could flirt with, like, the backside of the quarterback one, like front side of that quarterback two realm for kind of a long time. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah. CJ still, I mean, like, I feel like in my heart of hearts, he's my favorite quarterback from this class. I just, seeing him last year, especially in the at the end of the season, showing his mobility, his desire to win. Like, I think there's a player that young talent's gonna want to gravitate to. He's calm, cool, collected. He's got there's maybe a little bit of that Joe Burrow in him, where it's just like a little bit of ice water in his veins. I feel like so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also liking the CJ Stroud there at 102. So this here is tough. I do like obviously Bryce Young as well as Anthony Richardson. But I think for ceiling, I'm gonna go with Anthony Richardson here, the 102. I think Carolina, if this is the true case here, and Carolina has moved future picks to move up and get him, he's going to play this year. I think if he does go to some other situations, like if he falls down to a Tampa Bay that trades up to get him, I can see that. He could sit for a year, maybe longer. But I think Carolina's going to want to get that hot rod out there and showcase it, and just let him use his legs. And at that point, he's going to be a fantasy stud.
Yeah.
So I'm all about it. Anthony Richardson, 103.
Cool. All right, at the 104, I'm just going to gobble up Bryce Young here, and I love it. He's got the ability to process what's going on the field. I think he has a little bit better legs than people give him credit for, because he just hangs out in the pocket so much, which isn't something that I'm going to complain about, because that's a lot of times leaving the pocket is where your smaller guys are going to start getting those injuries. Hi, Usher.
Bryce Young pick. She's a little dog, so she's got that little dog in her.
Yeah, she's got the little dog in the fight. All right, yeah, cool. I like it.
Awesome. Cool. All right, so this is I have a good amount of 105s, and I'm kind of in that holding way, because I don't need to take a quarterback in a lot of my leagues. I built strongly around a 2 quarterback build in a lot of my league situations. So Will Levis, falling falling to the 114 gives me a little bit of alarm that maybe a team didn't need him so much that they had to trade up into the top 10 to get him, where there's another top 10 player that was drafted. Although it's not to a dream landing spot, I do think that Jackson Smith-Njigba is still just the best player on the board that I know, and I feel confident in his ability to play in the NFL. And I do think that, Justin Fields, Jackson Smith-Njigba is a combo I was really excited about last year. I thought there was a good chance that maybe they were going to be able to use their first round pick at the time, not knowing it's going to be the 101. But them training back, I think that really opens up the door for them to grab, one of his Ohio State BFFs.
I think it could be good there with DJ Moore and Claypool opening things up. It's going to leave a lot underneath for JSN, and those linebackers aren't going to know whether they need to stick with him or keep spying Justin Fields, because he can take off at any point too. So It seems really disgusting, but it's hey, we thought the same thing about Garrett Wilson going to the Jets. So let's not hate on it too much here.
Right. Cool. So, what are you looking at here at the 106?
I'm gonna go ahead and take Jordan Addison here at the 106. We've been mostly without landing spots. We've been more slotting Jahmyr Gibbs and Will Levis into this spot, but I think it would be remiss of us to just ignore that 12th overall draft capital, ignore the connection to the exciting young quarterback, and like what should be like a good relationship between them for a long time.
Yeah. No, I Addison's definitely locked in right now as my wide receiver 2 in this class. The concerns with Quentin Johnston and the hands and the slow 3-cone and the slow 40. It's just, and then we were already sitting on like the big elephant in the room of just TCU wide receivers. So, yeah, man, I'm definitely locked in there with Addison and definitely a few wide receivers at this point that I would take ahead. So here at the 107, another tough spot I feel like to be in where Will Levis is still sitting there. I think at this point I would go ahead and take Will Levis. I don't love Quentin obviously there in Green Bay, Baltimore with Hyatt. Zay Flowers in New Orleans is interesting. Out of the other first round talents, I think I go ahead and lock in Will Levis. If I have to sit him for a year, I do. If he's ready to go, he's ready to go. And I'll take the risk on it. If anything, it's hard to make deals in leagues without giving a quarterback up. So if you're kind of nervous, wait a couple months for that big arm in training camp and a little hype to come out, add a 2024 first and go get yourself a real quarterback.
Yeah. I like it. Cool. So here at the 108, I'm going to go with Gibbs, who went to Indy. And I'm just going to go ahead and kind of bank on like the talent that he has. And just, if they draft him with the 35th overall pick, I'm going to go ahead and assume that they have a plan. And it's not just somebody that fell to them.
Yeah, you're looking at CJ Stroud, who's not super mobile, who's going to like hang in that pocket, make smart decisions, make the good reads. Jahmyr Gibbs will be a really good outlet for him. They can slowly bring him in while hopefully adding maybe a little bit of weight to Jahmyr Gibbs through the year in conditioning. And I think that there's a chance, depending on how this rebuild goes, that they might look to move on from a Jonathan Taylor who's going into the last year of his rookie contract. And he's going to want some higher end money, even though they're going to be saving a lot of money on a lot of players on rookie deals. But Michael Pittman will be up as well for his extension. It just really makes you wonder what the direction that Indianapolis will go with this young team of Stroud and Gibbs, and if they'll keep maybe some of these older, higher touch running backs like a JT on the roster.
Yeah, they are at a pivotal point where they can really try to go all in and sign some of these guys, or they could just be letting them walk and starting fresh, with Pierce, Gibbs and Stroud.
Yeah. All right, so here at the 109, I'm actually glad that you didn't take him. I was kind of hoping that I was going to grab him up here. I like Zay Flowers, honestly, to New Orleans. I think he's getting pretty close to my wide receiver 3 spot in this. Obviously, I don't know too much more than these, or I'm not going to act like I know much more than these NFL GMs, but I think that the NFL seems to like Zay. He seems to move with the boards. I think he's going to get this first round draft capital, even if it's in the end of the first round, which usually end of the first round draft picks get those better landing spots anyways. And I think New Orleans is a nice spot for him to play in the slot. Olave, although he is not elite route runner, he can kind of play anywhere on the field.
Yeah,
he plays in the 2 and he'll be out there on every play, where Zay is going to be shifted in and out more in that solely in the slot position, and just give them a new dynamic weapon to play with.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been really high on Marquise Brown for a while, and like seeing how much more Zay Flowers weighs than Marquise Brown at the same height, I've got no concerns about his size.
Yeah. Dynamic athletes are dynamic athletes, and I think they'll find a way to use them.
Oh shoot! All right, so this is where it gets hard for me here. Do I want kind of the consensus 110 going along here? I feel like it's been Charbonnet, but do I want him buried on the Detroit depth chart? Do I let Quentin Johnson keep sliding? It's rough. I think though, give me Charbonnet. I can't pull the trigger on Johnson yet.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Like, I mean, he did get top 15 draft capital, but I just know that just been enough red flags there just keep popping up that I don't know how much draft capital is going to save him in my mind at this point.
Yeah, it's really hard picking somebody who was drafted at 81 overall over somebody who was drafted at 15 overall, but it feels less risky, and I mean you've got to do a balance of high upside picks and then picks where you're going to like nail your value.
Mm-hmm. All right, so here at the 111, so we still obviously have QJ here. I think this is another one where I'm going to kind of go with my guy who I feel comfortable as kind of more my receiver, possibly 4. So at this point, locking up 3 of my top 4 wide receivers in the class will feel good. I think I'm going to go lean with Josh Downs. I think the Pittsburgh landing spot, he went 232, which remember is basically a first round pick since the Dolphins did give up there. So he's a top 32 pick. I'm not as concerned with the 5th-year option anyways. Trust in Pittsburgh, their wide receiver drafting ability over the past decade plus has been proven, needless to say. And this is honestly some of the higher draft capital we've seen them pick a wide receiver with.
Yeah.
So the one of the things that I really like about Josh Downs is he gives me that kind of Jahan Dotson feel from last year. He's not as evidently as fast as he is, but he does have that kind of small guy tackle breaking ability where he's like kind of able to shed players off of his lower body, find holes in those zones. Kenny Pickett, who's going to be a kind of a sneaky mobile quarterback, I think he's going to end up liking a Josh Downs who, when the play breaks down, he can kind of sniff out that hole in the zone and work with it there. So
yeah, I like it. Cool. Well, chessmate, you backed me into a corner here. So, in real drafts, if I have this pick and it's like I have to take Quentin Johnston, then I'm just going to trade out. Like, trade for Brandon Ayuk, trade for Michael Pittman, trade for George Pickens, trade for Jahan Dotson, do whatever you got to do to turn that pick into a not Quentin Johnston, but I just feel like that's the pick here at the 112 if you got to make it. He's got the upside to be pretty good if he can develop in the NFL, but counting on somebody to develop once they're in the NFL isn't going to be a sure thing. It's not going to be a great bet all the time.
Yeah, I honestly I don't hate the landing spot for a player like Quentin Johnston. That's kind of the weird thing about it. If there was a 6'2" player that was physical and went to Green Bay, I would be okay, that with the speedster and Watson and Dobbs getting maybe mixed in there. Yeah, sure, but it's just sorry, buddy, I had to do that to you. But you probably just got some of the best value in this draft, possibly. So, all right, turn around here with my 201. I think here I'm gonna go ahead and take the shot on a Jalen Hyatt. The Baltimore landing spot, another one I don't love. But I know I took a second round wide receiver already, but leaving another first round wide receiver on the board, make those mistakes before in the early second round in the past, and I feel like it's kind of come back to burn us. Trust the draft capital here. He does play a position that no one else in Baltimore I feel like really plays. He can cohabitate with Bateman. Whether Lamar is still there or they're bringing in another quarterback, you're going to get points. You're going to get some booms. You're going to get some opportunities to move on if you don't love them.
Awesome. Yeah, so right here, I think I'm going to go ahead and, there's still, I believe, one person from the first round on the board, but that's not where I'm going to go. I'm going to go with Chase Brown. I'm looking at the Carolina landing spot, and I'm looking at a guy who's, it looks like with his athletic profile, in this top 100 draft capital that, it's just going to be a matter of time until he's the lead back there. And getting that at the beginning of the second round is, pretty happy. I'm happy about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Chase Brown definitely profiles more like that 3-down back. I think that he can be utilized in that way with Carolina. Miles Sanders has shown the ability to be replaced before in his offense in the middle of the season. So, they did financially commit to him, but if you do look closely into it, it is kind of more or less a 2-year contract with a lot of outs. So I think that, you're fine taking a Chase Brown there. So this is where it starts getting, interesting, with players on the board versus, some of the notable names that we had, previously on our board high in Kendre Miller. Also, we talked about Sean Tucker,
Israel Bonaconda.
Yeah, Bonaconda, Zach Evans, Tank Bigsby, Roshan Johnson. Yeah. So, depending upon where they got landing spots, if it's in the early 4th, I still might consider taking him. So some of those running backs over these third round wide receivers that we're now into. But knowing what we know and the information that we have here at the moment, I'm just gonna. I don't think it would have changed things too much prior, but pretty standardly, we're playing a 1.5 tight end premium. I think at this point, I'm going to go with Dalton Kincaid. I do think that, he is worth taking a look at here.
I was really hoping he was going to slide to me at the 104.
Yeah. This definitely it's top 20 draft capital. We've seen Detroit spend that on tight ends before. They are a tough return on value, but I think as long as you're not spending a first round rookie pick on
it's
your
right there.
version of on your version of an elite tight end, then you're okay, because I think spending a second round pick on a tight end that you believe in is fine, no matter what tight end it is. And there's a lot of tight ends that you can't really get for a single second round pick, even though there are plenty that you can. I'm okay with taking him there at the 2-3.
Yeah, you see the production that he had. You saw the way he tested, and we see the draft capital in the landing spot, and that's all I need to see. He's, I could see maybe another tight end or two coming off in the second round, but I don't think we should be getting too crazy taking a ton of tight ends in this second round, because that's really all they're ever going to be worth, even if they hit. So unless they're a top 3, top 4 guy.
Yeah, unless you really have the roster space and you're really hurting. Yeah, waiting for the value at tight end this year. Like they'll be there at the early third.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks for making my job hard.
No problem.
All right, I'm just going to keep dipping back into these running backs, and I'm going to go with Devon Chain. I think that, New York, not necessarily my ideal landing spot for him, but like I do think it would be good for them to have somebody to complement Barkley and like spell him because we've seen durability issues there, and anytime you have that kind of situation, it creates opportunity for that next guy. And we saw Dayball kind of turn this offense around, and I'm excited about the direction they're heading, so I'll make the bet.
Yeah. A-Chain ideally will find an offensive coordinator like Dable who knows how to just utilize players, I feel like, to their fullest potential. I mean, we saw Richie James be utilizing that weapon in the offense, Isaiah Hodgins. Like, he used a lot of different wide receivers, different ways. And A-Chain's strong point is in that receiving game. So, coming in third down, I mean, you can play both backs back there. Barkley's a smart player, man. He can play really anywhere on the field, too. So, I think Dayball's the coordinator that can really be creative with that, maybe a two-back backfield there.
Yeah, if this happens, we're gonna watch Wan'Dale Robinson because I don't know, something's gonna happen there because like Wan'Dale is that like short depth of target type, just like kind of pitch it outside receiver, and like A-Chain and him are gonna be kind of fighting for some of those touches.
Right. So this is sorry, my dog is not loving these landing spots. I told her that this is the reality of what could happen, but she just she wants rainbows and butterflies, and we're not giving it to you today. We're showing you the down and dirty. I know. All right, so here are the 2-5. I would probably look at taking some of these fourth round running backs, not even knowing landing spots at this point. But to keep it on the board with the players that I like in the landing spots, I'm going to go with Marvin Mims to the Chargers.
Dang it, dude. Well, that was my next pick.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't have let him sit so long.
I shouldn't have let you have that first pick.
Yeah, it's where all the good ones are falling.
Ah.
So, yeah, Marvin Mims, Chargers. I think that he's got a good, interesting skill set. Once again, good landing spot. It's going to be ears perked up for a lot of fantasy gamers, whether I want them or not. Once again, you're looking at these landing spots, the names that people remembered, and you can utilize these players really easy in trades. So, and I like Marvin Mims. I might also just hang on to a couple shares at the 2-5.
Yeah. All right. Well, at this 2-6, I think I'm gonna go ahead and grab Hendon Hooker. We're gonna rinse and repeat this quarterback process, the third round quarterback to Tennessee process here, and I'm gonna go ahead and say that Hooker is probably a lot better of a quarterback than Malik, and just hope that I'm gonna get the upside of this pick and later be able to flip him for like a late first or multiple seconds. Use him to get into a quarterback that I really like.
Yep. Give one to get one. Whenever you can, if there's an opportunity, the window opens. Yeah, it's a bummer landing spot for Hooker. I know we kind of talked about him as a kind of Ryan Tannehill type player, but him literally going to play behind Ryan Tannehill, well, I'm not gonna lie, I'm holding on to a couple Malik Willis shares out there just for the fantasy ceiling. I don't evidently know if he's gonna do anything, but he's pretty much free out there right now, so worth grabbing a couple and holding on to it. So I feel like this burying Malik, burying Hendon Hooker, it just feels like too much burying for me. but we're getting down to the down and dirties here. I got a player here, honestly. I know we talked about these tight ends and tough value, but like late second, mid late second here, I do like Michael Mayer as my pretty much my tight end one in this class still, and going to Las Vegas to replace Darren Waller, I think is a good landing spot for him. I think he's kind of one of those tight ends that's pretty landing spot proof almost because of the way he plays position. So going to a spot where there's no clear person ahead of him, like I think he's a week one starter, and honestly, he probably contribute to pretty right away. So Michael Mayer at the 2-7.
Yeah, I like it. I honestly, in this mock draft, I think he's the only other one that I would have taken in the second round. And he's a guy where you look at the college production, and you're just pretty confident that like he's gonna get stuff done with the ball in his hands. So yeah, I feel good about that pick right here.
Yeah. I think it's maybe a little safe pick, but sometimes safety feels good.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna grab Tajay Spears here, a guy that I really like. Actually, both of us really like him as kind of like more of the Kamara type running back out of the draft. And Rachaad White was not a guy that I was super interested in last year, and I don't know if it's just me being stubborn, but I'm just going to continue betting against him because giving a long enough period of time, eventually it'll work out.
Yeah. It's a tough spot for Tajay Spears. I feel like Rachaad White for a lot of people is kind of like their Tony Pollard. He's like the new wave Tony Pollard, where it's like, all right, well, this guy can do it all, but he's like behind this veteran, and luckily he shedded his Ezekiel Elliott a little early, and then for him to get now a little running mate here in Tajay Spears. Spears does profile more like a complimentary back. You're just looking for that complimentary back plus ceiling, which that Kamara got. I think he does have potential. So I think he's worth taking a shot on and seeing if he can show that he can be the dude, if not at least highly efficient on his touches, where you can maybe split that backfield a little bit. All right, so here at the 2-9. So I got a couple tight ends already.
Yeah, at this point, we're pretty much just looking at wide receivers and undrafted players, or players that weren't drafted in this 3-round mock.
Yeah, and I think with that being said, I would go just with a guy I think profiles as a 3-down back. We both love him. I don't think he'll. I think no matter what, if we saw this landing spot that he's hopefully in the earlier 4th round, he probably would have already gone. You probably would have considered taking him over Chase Brown, even if you just had a little more knowledge and knowing that he's going to go there. Yeah. I would have considered him probably over Jalen Hyatt at the 2-1. As a player, I have him higher, but if this is knowing what we know, and I got to kind of go with the players that I've seen as top 100 picks.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to also dip into these undrafted players. I'm going with Israel Abanikanda, and I'm just taking the youngest running back in this draft, who's also one of the fastest, most explosive, and it's just kind of a formula for getting a shot in the NFL. He's got the size, he's got the speed, he's got everything that you could want.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely getting to be a big fan of the Bandit Candy Shop. might be opening up here for me in a few leagues. I would not be surprised if you see him starting to solidify himself into the 111 and 112 spots in your rookie drafts this year. With this way he's profiling, and he's a little bit of a hipster pick right now, but he's becoming more and more mainstream, I believe, with every week that passes. Whew.
I think I know where you're going with your last pick here. Are we doing 2 rounds or?
Yeah, we're just going to do 2 rounds here. Yeah, I might maybe surprise you with this pick. We'll see. I'm actually going to stay here on the board of players that were picked. I think that there's a landing spot that I like. Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills. Jaden Reed has been a mover for me. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take Jaden Reed here to the Buffalo Bills.
All right. I like it.
Cool.
I totally think Khalil Shakur is going to. But no. I think it's a good landing spot. I think he's an explosive receiver, and hey, there's going to be a lot of offensive opportunities, a lot of touches, a lot of first downs. They're going to be out there a lot.
Yep, a lot of pass volume. Yeah, Diggs isn't going to be there forever.
Is Gabe Davis gone this year, or they were looking at trading him? I've heard.
I think he still has probably a year left in his contract.
Okay.
I think he got 1 more year. So we'll see what happens with Big Gabe.
Yep. All right. So now with the last pick in the draft here, I'm a little bit torn. I'm looking at A.T. Perry getting. I'm kind of just looking at my stack with C.J. Stroud if I do that. I do like Xavier Hutchinson. I think him. We saw Hunter Renfrow go and work with Cooper Kupp and stuff and get way better and get a top 10 finish out of working with him. I think give me Xavier Hutchinson. I'm talking myself into it here, and I'm just, the Rams seem to have good luck with wide receivers and developing them and utilizing them. So,
Yeah. No, I like that idea of him, working with a Cooper Kupp, and learning some of those unique routes and how to utilize, your leverage against the other players. So, I say it's tough down here. Once again, probably likely grabbing a few more of these running backs and a lot, and we left Roshan Johnson.
That's who I thought you were going to pick with the Reed pick.
Yeah, that's who I probably would have taken. He was definitely my top running back left on the board. Tank Bigsby, Zach Evans, Sean Tucker, any of those guys get early 4th round capital, and I'm probably taking them anywhere here in the 2nd round as well. But cool. So that's
this definitely some interesting landing spots. I never thought I would see a board like this, but that's what this mock draft brought out of us. And we're gonna be looking through mock drafts. We're gonna be doing another live mock draft with you guys. So if you guys want to mock draft with us, check out our Discord, and shortly we'll be putting a mock in there. We're gonna use a full 7-rounder for our next live mock.
That way we can go full 4 rounds here while we have a nice full room. I think it'll be good. I think we're at the point in the year where you almost need to be running some of these simulations for landing spots and how you're gonna move things around, and just take a look. Obviously there's not a single mock draft out there that's going to be 100% accurate, but I know a lot of our dates have been set for our actual rookie drafts, and several of them are happening Sunday night or Monday night, or maybe even like Tuesday. So it's just you're not going to have a lot of chance to go through and do these, watch it, 50 more videos on mock drafts and jump in and let the ADPs readjust. There's going to be there's a real tough window in there. So running through some of these simulations, especially with some friends, grab a buddy, just do like Ray and I did. 2 people go back and forth. I'd love to have some people come and join us, because I think it's extra valuable when you have 12 different minds in here looking at players, who's reaching for who. Like, I probably reached for a few players where, Josh Downs to 111, where it's like, oh, hey, like that's spicy, but some of that stuff's gonna happen,
Yeah. And I think last time we did a live draft, that was the most fun that we've had making a video yet. Like, interacting with you guys and getting like everybody involved. It's just it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Dynasties, like, my favorite leagues aren't like evidently the teams that I have the best players in. It's the leagues that are the most active and having like a good time, and it's good community. That's what it's really all about. So once again, the link for the Discord will be down below, posted below the video. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff helps us out. We are, last I checked, 1 view away from hitting 500 views on our channel, so looking forward for that mile marker. We also just turned 21
in subscribers,
so we can now legally drink on live stream. I think I don't think we could do it until you hit 21, so that's why you saw me taking a couple shots of coffee over here. So looking forward to making some new videos. This was a crazy week for Ray and I. Got kind of swamped down, so
work and family stuff. So
and we've been developing our rankings, so spending a lot of time that we did have on stream that we were just sorting out of the rankings. But I think we just spent a couple hours locking it in today, and we'll be looking forward to be posting that on our Discord. So go down, join the Discord, take a look at our rankings. We'll be building some good buy low, sell high videos off of those. That's the life.
Awesome. Thanks
bebop
for
out.
Bye, guys. Yeah.
All right. See you
Later.